So I'm gonna do a divination, then probably get out of here. Okay, let's see. Spirit, guides, ancestors. Assist me in choosing a poem for right now that will help anyone who's watching. Oh my gosh. It came back to they think I'm amazing. Wow. They think I'm amazing. So y'all want me to read it again? I keep talking about this one. Okay. Okay. So I'll just keep talking about this one because honestly, I love this one so much. And the divination landed us right back here. So let's dive deeper. Okay, I know. So there's two things that are popping out. The first one is the line that says, "It was from being paralyzed by fear and seeing its effect upon others that I learned to live fearlessly." So these lines are really prominent for me because I'm in a virtual study group called Soul Glow, and there's channel messages that we listen to, and the one for this month is about choosing love or fear. So I feel like it's so resonant, not just because of that, but just in general. Like when you look around, you can observe when people are choosing fear or when they're choosing love. And I feel like there has been plenty of times where I have chosen fear and I could have just chose love. I mean, now I'm more aware and I feel like I have the tendency to choose love anyway, but I still have had experiences of choosing fear and also seeing other people and seeing how that affects them. Like when people hold themselves back in terms of like their passions or desires because they fear that it's not going to work out. So like even me, after graduating college and working in corporate, I decided to choose love over fear when I said, you know what, my passion is art and I want to do that for work, regardless of all the sayings of people saying like, oh, being an artist is not a real job, or artists are always broke. It's like, I feel like that's still limiting beliefs that are rooted in fear, and I just choose love over fear. So I'm gonna go for my passions despite what the world thinks. And also it's just the truth that fear is an illusion. So it's like, are you gonna let a simulated reality dictate what you do and how you live? Or are you gonna follow your heart and your passion and just be like a rebel? A revolutionary? Like, let's talk about it. The other part that popped out to me that I want to talk about before I get off of here is, it was from being depressed and alone without a home that I could call my own. It was from walking in darkness that I learned to embrace light. I feel like people can be afraid of like depression and anxiety, but honestly, when you just embrace whatever situation or circumstances you have, you begin to get through it, and then there's a silver lining. Like, when he's talking about being depressed and alone without a home, I definitely can relate to that because I have been homeless in my life, like at least 3 or 4 times. And I have talked about it with people, but I don't think I've talked about it like publicly online. But I feel way more comfortable and in acceptance with like just my journey and my experiences. And I feel like sharing is also caring, and it can inspire others to not only accept where they are, but to know that there's still infinite possibilities. Like, things change. Actually, change is the only constant. So whatever situation that you currently are in, just know that it's not going to last forever. It may be uncomfortable, it might be scary, but it's not going to last forever because change is the only constant. So if anything, you can count on change happening. But I will say change does begin with you. It begins with changing your mindset and embracing any emotions that are coming up, because the more that we avoid the truth of our thoughts and our emotions and our behaviors, the longer that we could live in a loop. So it's not that change is not possible, but some people are living in a loop because they are choosing to avoid things or to fear change. That's my perspective. I mean, I feel like it's the truth, but for the sake of this, I'm gonna say that's my perspective because I'm really not into debating about it. It was from walking in darkness that I learned to embrace light. I feel like that is simply something that if you've experienced it, then you know. Like, if you haven't experienced it, it's just a concept in your mind. Like, it's just that. And I even love towards the end of the poem where he said, "It's from self-awareness that I see that my own mind needs to be purified." I feel like there's so much accountability in that line, in these 2 lines actually of the poem. Because, for instance, referring back to the Soul Glow group that I was talking about I'm in, it's like, I feel like I'm already a very self-aware person, but you can always deepen your awareness. And I feel like as I've been on a journey of deepening my awareness, I've realized that my own mind needs to be purified. Like, even when, okay, so I can give a very specific example of this. It's like when our mind is full of distortions, we may not realize it because it's just not in our awareness yet. Like, we're just kind of on autopilot or in survival mode. So, like, I was in an abusive relationship for a couple years, and I remember I got an advocate who was basically like, she was an advocate, but she also offered like counseling. So I remember she introduced me to cognitive distortions, and she gave me this paper with the list of cognitive distortions and what they mean, and we talked about examples. And when she exposed me to this information, I realized, like, wow, I really have a lot of cognitive distortions, and I didn't realize it until she brought it to my attention. So I feel like self-awareness is really powerful. And when we deepen our self-awareness, we really are presented with the opportunity to hold ourselves accountable for like what we're entertaining, what we're believing. And I feel like this poem really shows us like there is so much power in choosing to embrace wherever we are and keep learning, because there's always something to learn, no matter if you are in a good place or a bad place. Like, you learn from the good and you learn from the bad. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Peace.